Welcome by For the Passion, Not the Fashion, the YouTube channel. I'm here with Juan Ricardo of Juan Ricardo. What you're saying in it's like a Spanish name, right? Or
Right,
like
right. It is.
Juan Ricardo from USA, right? And
Exactly, yes.
yes, and
I was born in Puerto Rico, but I'm from America.
okay. I see a little bit of exotic roots somewhere. I see
Yeah,
some, yeah. And Juan Ricardo is singer for a lot of US metal bands for like nearly 40 years, right?
yes, it is. I've for a long time. I've
Yes.
practically lived metal. I love it, and so I can't get enough singing, and I just love to sing.
Great. I think we are about 40 years because you started your first band around 1980, right?
Yeah, I mean, I started singing really when I was very young, like around 10 years old, in like rock bands in America, and just was then now I had to age myself, but it was the 70s.
Oh, the
And
70s.
yeah, so
Okay.
um but when it came to around about 1980, I met guys in a band
Yeah.
that were into metal, and I was actually studying opera in college.
Oh, wow.
And
That's why your great voice is coming from.
yeah, I was studying to be a singer, but studying classical music. And
Yeah.
I was at a party just singing, and a girl was at the party, and she was like, "Oh my God!" And she called somebody up, and so were a bunch
Yeah.
of college kids, and in walk in all these long-haired leather and denim guys, you
Yeah.
know, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And it was like, "Oh, we're here because my girlfriend said we have to hear you sing." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Really?"
Oh, wow. Cool.
And so it just literally went from there, and just it went from. And the funny thing, because in my studies, obviously I was listening to metal
Mhm.
and hard rock, you know what I mean? But studying classical music. So all the time they would go, "Juan, you sound great, but you're too rock, too rock."
Yeah. But that's
So
the
I could
great.
tell the writing was on the wall, really, So
Wow. Great story. Yeah, because when I heard you with actually very funny fact. Even if it was later on, I discovered you. I discovered you with your first band, Stryker, right? And
yes,
and
yes,
I'm
that
not
was the
that.
band. That's the band exactly, Stryker.
Yes, and I'm not that old. I'm 40, nearly 44, but I bought this reissue by Pure Steel or Karthago, whatever. Anyway, one of these labels, they released
Right,
this.
right.
They released their stuff of Stryker at the time, and I already was known with other bands like Wretch and, but not. Somebody calls here. Wait, Mark, wacht. Fuck. Sorry, one moment.
No, you're
I
fine.
need
Go
I
ahead.
need the to put my phone off, otherwise I get crazy. Okay.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Ja, dit is niet tof. Wie is het? One moment. Wie is het? Oh fuck. Sorry. I thought I
You're
put my
you're a
phone off.
popular man.
Yeah, but it's really annoying when you are doing an interview and somebody calls you.
Right, right.
Anyway, uh, where we sticking? Yeah, you
Well, we
are
were
playing.
talking about that you discovered me for Tax with
Yeah.
Stryker, and then most recently Attaxe really Pure Steel reissued the Attaxe albums. So
Yes, true. I discovered you when you when they released the Stryker album, and I said, "Wow, well, this is a great singer." And afterwards, I discovered you were in Wretch and in Arena, Dark Arena, a lot of things,
and
I like
Sunless
also,
Sky and a bunch of
yeah,
places. Yeah,
a lot of bands, also Attaxe and so, and which I reissued their Pure Steel reissued their stuff too, the Attack stuff. And I
right.
think this is a great singer. And then we met in Belgium. Remember at the
Yeah,
break club? Yeah,
right,
that's the
right.
story. And I
Yeah,
said, "Fuck, this singer is so great and is so you know, you have a lot of bands in America, even if it's a melodic rock, AOR, melodic rock, and US metal in particularly. Bands were completely unknown here in Europe, completely unknown. Which, like, you are one of them. You know, you're a really great singer. You have a really great voice, and same with a lot of melodic rock bands, but also US metal bands, which have great singers, but totally over and yeah, totally underrated here, I think, in Europe. And you are one of them for sure. That's what I want to say.
I think, you know, it's funny because um America actually thinks of Europe of like, you know, America has so many bands and so many genres of music and stuff that
Yeah.
the bands with melodic singing actually sort of, you know, is almost underground here.
Yeah.
And so then in Europe, it's like another opportunity for us to expand our basis and to reach a greater audience and people who really still appreciate singing and melodic music and metal, and you know what I mean. So because America is so splintered with our
Hmm.
music, I mean, there's people that love metal and listen to the metal, you know, and listen to melodic music, but it's definitely more there's so many, you know, different genres and choices and stuff here in America. So
I think it's not really the way you say. I see it different. I see there's a lot of raw music coming from Europe. Like you had the '70s with bands like Deep Purple, Rainbow, who are much more bombastic, like heavy, like
mhm.
the bands like Journey and Chicago and Supertramp, and in
Right.
America, Aereo Speedwagon and stuff. But this the in the '80s there came a combination of like really heavy bands, like really heavy, with a not a screamer on vocals, not someone who grunts or whatever, but a
Hmm.
singer who really sings. It came, for example, with Anthrax with Joey Belladonna. You know,
Right.
he did audition for our Journey and stuff. So this have this classical voice, this really classical melodic voice on combined with really heavy guitar riffs and heavy music, you know. And that's what
Right.
for me makes US metal, the combination of melodic and heavy. And this is something we don't have so much here in Europe, I guess.
Oh,
I
that makes
see.
sense. Yes, I
Yeah,
see that. Yeah, I see it like that too. Yeah.
the AOR mixed with a heavy speed thrash, you know. But heavy speed thrash has this, like Slayer, they have a real raw voice. But then you have this bands who are actually equal with heaviness, but they have another kind of singer, and that makes a special style, I guess.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Mm.
That's, I
Yeah,
mean, that's definitely, I guess that's definitely up my alley. So,
yeah. So I didn't surprised when you say I'm classical schooled, because your voice is really classical, but the if you put that classical voice on the style of music they're playing, then you have
there
Wretch,
you have it.
Attaxe, and Stryker. Yes.
Right. Stryker, Dark Arena,
Yeah,
Sky. Right.
that everything,
Exactly.
everything. Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
can we go beginning on the in the follow the a little bit the my I put a lot of questions, but can we
Yeah.
start with the introduction, because we already talked a lot, but who are you and what are you doing? That's for the first thing,
Well,
actually.
hello to everyone there in the Netherlands. Definitely one of my favorite places to come see and do shows. My name is Juan Ricardo. I am the vocalist for several bands, including um, from people who know me from Stryker, Attaxe, Sunless Sky, Wretch,
Hmm.
Dark Arena, Ritual.
Yeah. Oh,
So
Ritual,
in
great
there,
band too.
Ritual.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't forget about Ritual.
Yeah. Sorry, I did.
Ritual, and I also have my own project, the Vith Ricardo project, which is kind of a prog project.
Okay.
And I also sing for the German band Blind Cross.
Okay.
And I am about to start recording the new I do a new Lucid Dream album from the band from the Netherlands, where I am it's an album, a rock opera based on before World War One. So we're talking like, I believe my character is the Prince of Prussia. So that sort of shows that and that's from a band from the Netherlands,
Which
Lucid
band
Dream.
is it?
Lucid Dream.
Lucid Dream. I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm not really familiar with them. Sorry.
We did. I'm trying to think of what other bands. I'm trying to think of. It's. I think, or that might be the name of the album. I'm not sure now. But I start recording it this coming week. I showed you.
Which guys are in it, or girls? Is there some names I might
yeah,
know?
the singer is Till. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm terrible with names. I can't think of the names right now. I wish that's one thing I wish you would have known before. I would have looked up
but
the guys'
no
names
problem.
are. But
And where are they from? Which city? You know that?
oh, I don't know. I know that the singer, he was actually our promoter for the Wretch tour in the Netherlands. So his name was Till. So we actually played all these different places, and he was the actual promoter. He was the one that helped us book all the shows.
Okay, then I have to think, but I'm not sure. I know. You also
The name is on the tip of my tongue. We're talking, and you can't. There's no way I could. The name of the band, and they. So.
Is it not?
I know we did a bunch. I know we did a bunch of shows. The band that was supporting us was Black Knight. So Wretch was
with
Black
Hugo,
Knight, but he
Rudo
wasn't the
Ploy and
singer of
stuff.
Black Knight. He was the singer for another band. And
I know
yeah,
Black Knight. Black Knight is from the Amsterdam region. It's with Rudo on drums.
Yeah,
Rudo.
Rudo Ploy.
Yeah, on drums. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yes.
They're on Pure Steel, right? Also on Pure Steel. Everybody's on Pure Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So that's all the bands that I'm doing in right now. The two most recent things I've done is I released my Victor Carter project this April. The new Dark Arena album just came out this August, which is Worlds of Horror.
I have it.
And my schedule of recordings coming up is, of course, the Lucid Dream album begins recording now. I just finished the new Sunless Sky album. That's on its way to be mixed right now in Austria. And once I'm done with the Lucid Dream album, I begin recording the new Wretch album, which is all written, and that's going to restart recording there this winter, and then in the spring I'll start recording the new Attaxe album. So
Attaxe, because they didn't do
yes,
anything.
a new Attaxe album. So yes.
Oh wow.
After so long.
Yeah, I see.
What we're basically doing is half the album. Attaxe was together for a while. I have a catalog of like 60 Attaxe songs. But I have a whole new band. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, there's a lot of songs that never got recorded that are so great. So we're going to do half the album is going to be classic Attaxe that wasn't recorded, and half the album will be new. So that the fans in America that know the songs and remember the band back in the day out doing shows and go, oh, I wish you would do, the Devil's Advocate, or the Vendetta, or all these bands names that people in Europe who don't have the original recordings or didn't see the band don't know the songs, but people in America would go, oh, it's so great you're doing that song, you're doing Diamonds and this classic stuff that when we first came out and that we never got to record. So I'm going to do both.
Great. But you talk about that we do enough, but there's YouTube these days, there's Metal Archives these days, and I know pretty much Germans will go, the people will go to Keep It True and Headbangers Open Air, and a lot of guys like this, they are really, really deep into this US metal, and probably they know things who are like, whoa, even strong. Yeah.
They probably have stuff I don't have.
Yeah, I know some guys like Alex and so and Mario and
Right,
there Mario Panza or something like this.
right, right.
And Alex no Alex Pans, that's the name.
And right,
Anyway,
Alex Pence, right. Yes, yes.
yeah, Alex Pans, yeah. Mario Werner and Jurgen and so they are the real guys who I see in every festival and they're really into the US stuff and probably know a lot, even more than I do because I'm very wide range with music and
Right, right.
but yes, this true metal from America, well, it's
Yeah,
great and
I love to come there. It's, I obviously I love to play in America. I go wherever I can, and as
yeah,
far as I can. But coming to Europe is very special. It's just the enthusiasm of the fans and
yeah,
the knowledge is so amazing. That's America. When you go, no matter where you go, you end up meeting fans that have almost that never heard the band. No matter how many times you go there, you still
really,
go to America, still go to clubs in America. People are like, I've never heard of you. This is amazing. I have to buy, and they buy your albums because they're like, wow, this is so great. And when I go to Europe, people show up at the shows and they have all my records already. You know what I mean? It's crazy. That's like so
yeah,
great. They know every song.
but you play on the certain festivals where these diehard people coming, and
Right,
probably you
right,
play in America in some bars like
right,
random
right,
people from around the corner are coming.
right, right. Clubs, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Where you from in America? Like
Like I
Ohio
said,
and stuff.
I was born in Caguas, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Um, but I live in the area is Cleveland, Ohio, which is northeastern Ohio. The Cleveland Browns. I see there's a hat on there.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very well
Yeah.
done. My favorite football team, American football team.
Also, I read
But
it
I
like
live in a
right.
little town outside of Cleveland, like about 45 minutes east of Cleveland, called Newberry, Ohio. It's just a little town out there by what the culture they call the Amish.
Really? Oh, oh,
Yeah, in
oh.
the Amish
And then you're
territories.
coming from, ah,
Yeah,
and this
they're all
this
going
people.
around in the buggies, and so
Yeah,
there's more cows and buggies than people out where I
yeah, yeah.
live,
Really?
which
Oh,
is good. Which is good. It's really quiet. My family's here, nice and quiet, and then
uh,
so
okay, cool. And you are there between the armies as a metal singer.
yes, right between the Amish and the metal. Yes, yeah.
Wow,
So
wow,
it's
wow.
great, when you travel as much as I do and do shows. It's and the question we're asked about how supportive my family is. Most of my kids are grown. I still have a 15-year-old that's at home. But
Okay,
they're very supportive of their crazy dad and what he does, and
great.
doing things. Um to support a family, not anymore. I mean, I don't tour exclusively now. So I don't make 100% of what I do playing metal. I wish I could.
Yeah,
uh but so I do work, but I have a freedom to go tour and to
yeah,
support my musical taste, and to constantly be in the studio and constantly being in rehearsals, and that's sort of it's people ask, how is it possible that I could be in so many bands and write for so many bands and sing for so many bands, and I also play bass and sing for Sunless Sky.
oh,
So um and it's really just down to scheduling. Everybody understands there's only one of me in the bands. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so the bands individual are literally independent of themselves. Does that make sense?
yeah.
They rehearse together. We work on the music together. Most of it is done sort of remotely. They work on the music. They send it to me. I work on it. I say, let's do this. Let's arrange that. We get together. We run through the songs. Um, I have an insane memory for music. Um, when you see me seeing at shows, there isn't an
Mm.
iPad or lyric sheets on the floor,
Oh,
that sort of thing. I remember not only my part and what I sing, I remember everyone else's parts.
oh, wow,
It's really crazy like that. And
wow.
so um, I can literally just show up at rehearsals and say, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. But imagine these bands rehearse all the time, 2 or 3 days a week, and I, for each individual band, come like every couple of weeks and say, okay, where are you guys at? I love this. Let's change that sort of thing. Because obviously I would literally be at a rehearsal every day. If I tried to be with every band 7 days a week, it wouldn't, I wouldn't have a life. I would love singing all the time, but I wouldn't have a life with my family and stuff like that. So people understand that, and everything's in a schedule.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, where I know what my schedule of recordings are. The Lucid album is recorded. Everything's done. All it's waiting for is for my vocal portion. I'm going to do it over the next couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Then I move on to, the Wretch album, which is written, and it's going to be started recording here in a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? From there, Attaxe already knows they're finishing writing up the new songs. They're working on this stuff. And, then I go into Rick's studio and Attaxe. I have to mention, I'm about to announce another project. I haven't announced it yet.
You didn't have enough.
It's insane. I just formed a band with Bobby Allerton of Ritual.
Okay.
And incredible bass player and drummer. The drummer is the original drummer of the Spud Monsters, Eric Matthews, and an incredible improvisational, brilliant bass player called Eric Lee Tomlinson. People are going to lose their minds over this bass player. And we have a new project called The Storms of Tomorrow, and we're already, half the album's already written already. And like I said, literally, I just showed up at rehearsal the other day, loved the arrangements. And I said, okay, we went through some stuff, and then I don't see him again for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? As they continue to work on the. You say to yourself, that's insane, but they're professional musicians. These are people that are dedicated to their craft. Everybody in every band. I do not have a same member in any band except for Yule Tyler Martin, which is the drummer of Dark Arena, Wretch, and Sunless Sky. So because those Wretch and Sunless Sky are basically the bands I do the most with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's easier for me to have one drummer in that band, but every other band has completely different members. So
because so many bands, and it's great because I like each of them. But is there sometimes not because now you sing on for so many bands, we're all great separately, but there's no band who went really big, and it's the all underground, and sometimes thinking your talent is sad that it's not discovered by a bigger audience.
Yeah, it's isn't fortunate, and I look at, you have to think to yourself, and I'm definitely not someone that lives in regret. Those things, the different choices I make in my life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether to raise a family when Ritual was doing, when Ritual had their album out and was #1 in Europe at one time. I decided to stay at home, and I just had a child and stuff when I got a message from the management company. This is a true story. The management company of we spoke of Anthrax because Joey Belladonna had left about going to audition for Anthrax.
Mm-hmm. You would fit.
And at the time, and you think about these choices. Okay, what could have happened? They ended up with John Bush, the amazing singer. Who knows what happened if I'd actually gone to New Jersey and auditioned?
Yeah.
But I didn't because Ritual just had their album out. Mm-hmm. I just had another child, and Ritual was kind of like, oh, so we have a new album out. It's #1 in Europe, and so that's it. You're just gonna leave for a bigger band.
Yeah.
And we were like, brothers, and we were like work together. And I said, you know what? That is the American word is shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I exactly know what you mean.
There's some sense of loyalty. Is it a mistake or is it wrong? You know what I mean? I don't look at life that way. Things happen for a reason. And I'm happy, and I don't, I love making music, and that's just what happened.
Well, I think it's really great, loyal, and very from the heart what you're doing.
Right.
But if I hear this story, it didn't surprise me, like Anthrax. you know, and Joe Belladonna is like you, a classical voice singer, you know,
Right, right.
and
Someone
I
heard
think
heard the Ritual album and said, "Oh, this guy is perfect. You should call him
yes,
up."
yes, and I'm a big Anthrax fan, and I wouldn't be sad
Something
if
forgotten in the, like I said, I never even auditioned, so I always, I feel weird even saying that story that I didn't go, but that's what happened.
yeah, but that's what I meant. It's a very positive thing I meant. It's like you're so great, and it's still so underground, you know. And
It
there's
is, it is.
yeah, and there's a lot, but it's the same with Bob Mitchell and some other people
Yes,
which are also very good singers, which are
right, right.
complete. And then you have this Midnight from who's sadly passed away from Crimson Glory,
Absolutely.
Geoff Tate, and these
I,
singers they
I I
really
have to,
became big, you know.
I know I have to say this because one of the questions you posed were some of my favorite albums and
Yeah,
bands influenced me,
yeah, please
and
do it. So
I can
wow.
name I can name off literally the albums and bands that changed my life.
Yeah.
And I'll do them very quickly. First, number one would be absolutely Rush 2112. Then
Yeah.
it would be Rainbow Rising.
Okay. I have a Dio.
Okay. Then Power Slave by Iron Maiden.
Oh, okay. You love Bruce
Okay.
Dickinson?
Right. And then
Yeah.
Sad Wings of Destiny by Judas Priest.
Ah, great album as well. Yeah.
But then that was sort of my influences growing up. And
Yeah.
then once I actually began singing
Yeah.
in a metal band, there were three albums that really that changed my thought of how singing should be.
Yeah.
And number one was Transcendence from Crimson Glory.
Yeah. It's a
I said to
fantastic album.
myself, wow, okay.
Yeah.
The other one was Nosferatu from Hellstar.
Yeah. With James
And that
Rivera.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I
Also.
did a lot of shows with James Rivera very recently. He was at my festival a couple times. I was
Yeah.
like amazing to be able to sing with him and watch him perform and stuff like that. And of course, John Patrick McDonald of Crimson Glory, Midnight,
Yeah.
as his name, is just somebody who it's sad that he never, you
Yeah.
know, died so young. And a thing that a band that really two bands that changed the way we look at music and really is the emphasis of where the band Dark Arena came from.
Hmm.
Not just with the album. One was the Black Halo from Camelot,
Yeah.
and the
Newer,
other
a newer band.
was right Celestial Entrance from Pagan's Mind. Um, and those were those prog metal sort of bands
Yeah.
that changed that direction from that where we decided where Dark Arena came from, which is that sort of direction. So
So you're also very much later on after the 80s and 70s. You're also very much in the prog and power metal from Europe, the European bands
yes,
from Sweden and stuff.
yes,
And yeah,
yes,
from
absolutely. Stuff
Scandinavia
like
probably.
Halloween and
Yeah, our Germany, yeah, Halloween, yeah.
exactly. I mean, that's Wretch is a direct. You listen to Wretch and you say to yourself, what band do they listen to? What is the band that influences
Yeah.
Wretch? You would say, oh, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Definitely that genre, uh, European power metal. But it's so funny that you were saying that about the differences of what we call power metal. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's almost like a European style, and then
Yeah.
in America, it's definitely more thrash of that style, like a Nevermore and Sanctuary, and where it's more thrash, and it's almost like there's an American style and a European style, almost to me. I don't. That's kind of
Yeah. Exactly, man. Uh, yeah, it's right. Like, yeah, sorry.
you're
Yeah,
fine.
you're now with the European with European power metal is completely also completely different with the American power metal because
Hmm.
the American power metal is like speed with melodic,
Yeah.
and then in Europe, and you have the old German bands who are like Rage and Running Wild, not really Rage,
Yeah. Running Wild too.
yeah,
Some. Yeah. Yeah.
Scanner,
Yeah.
Halloween, stuff like this. And then you have this in Sweden, you and in Scandinavia, you had these bands like Rhapsody and Stratovarius, and
Oh, Rhapsody, and then
yeah,
and
the
you also had
really
like
like hyper speed,
Stradivarius and
yeah, hyper
right,
speed
right,
bands and stuff. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
So it's really something different, I think. Yeah.
I love it all. See,
Yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah,
that's
you
like
also
I
mix and
love it
everything.
all. So it's it's I'm it's so amazing that that there's so much great music out there. Yeah, I say to somebody just the other day, I travel a lot, and so
Yeah,
between I'm I got the streaming. I'm listening to all this new music. It's just like, oh my
yeah,
god, it's like so many great bands. It's just
yeah, great. You also hear it in a lot of different bands of you, like the different influences you put in. So, but I want to go. Yeah, what bands and artists? So you name them, and also lyrically, what's inspired you lyrically overall?
um this is funny because I just recently talked to the new guitar player for Sunless Skies, Ed
Yeah,
Miller from Mystic.
yeah,
And Mystic is another one of those American power metal bands that came over. Um, and he's asking me about that I'm definitely I I guess the best way to say it is a storyteller.
yeah,
I like to tell stories. I I'm not very occasionally write songs that are just about things or cars or girls or things like that. Occasionally, not very often. Most of the time, I want to sing about something. It's almost like I want to tell you a story, and I'm
yeah.
singing it to you, almost like it's I like a poem, but you know, in that sense, it doesn't.
It's
All bands, if there's
like
any
a
connection like that, that's the kind of storytelling and the singing that I'm into when I first heard Ronnie James Dio, or and just hearing Stargazer, and
Mhm.
or like I said, growing up listening to Rush, and yes, and just hearing how there were stories linked into this amazing music and melody lines. It just wasn't just you know um, it's something that I've always gravitated to, um and in that sense, I think it works well for the way I sing.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that's it's you know growing up learning classical music and learning how to sing classically, and one of the things that sort of is ingrained in you as you do that is that there is no amplification, and the person in the last seat in the back has to understand what you're saying and to project in that sort of way. And so then that's the way I sing. And so
Mhm.
when people watch me, and I just did a show with Wretch this weekend,
Yeah. Where?
and we were in Akron at the Empire Club. We're doing shows, so a couple shows with Raven.
Raven from England.
Yeah, we just did it, and the Gallagher brothers. They're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
such great guys, amazing band, and they're on
Very
tour.
down to earth and very
They're American.
underrated after the years.
Huh?
Very much underrated band over so many
Yes.
years.
That's
Still playing
another band
small
that
clubs.
never
Yeah.
got as big as they should have gotten.
No, same with
But
Anvil.
and of course there are a lot of Raven fans there. Of
Yeah,
course,
they
they've never
are. There are
seen
many.
Wretch or seen me sing, which is amazing. You go to places like, oh, I've been to this town how many times? People are like still like never seen me sing. And when the people come up to me, it's like they're like they came to see Raven. They're not sure, about this power metal band opening up for them, and they were so surprised. They're like, well, I'm not really into that kind of metal so much, but I couldn't believe how much I could understand you. Usually, I can't understand a singer, and I'm literally singing, and they're like, I can understand every word you're saying. And that fills me with pride. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That's something that I really, my articulation and that, not just singing, but actually able to, I always feel that if you see me live, I'm going to sound like the record. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If at least, if not better, I hope to sound
That's
even
great.
better than the record, because you layer things and it has, everything's perfect in the record, but I love that energy, and I love that to emote and to actually sing to somebody and have somebody go, have that connection, right? To
Yeah.
me, that's important. That's something I love. I really do.
Because when you talked about Ronnie James Dio, you several times come on Stargazer and Ronnie James Dio and Rising, and the link with Ronnie James is there clearly. Well, of course, I love Rising. It's a great album, but there's always the stuff with Jolyn Turner, which is
Oh
also,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and nobody and
absolutely.
everybody,
Oh, love
yeah,
Joe Lynn Turner.
yeah,
Oh, and with
and
Ingve. And with Ingve.
yeah,
Joe Lynn Turner with Ingve too.
yeah.
That uh yeah, he's saying with Ingve that he has an amazing album, like the is it Trilogy or Odyssey? Maybe both of them. I
Oh,
don't.
with the Ingwe trilogy, the
Yes.
album. Yeah, I was thinking
Yes. Oh my God.
Ingwe
Love
Malmsteen.
that
Yeah,
album.
yeah, it's a great album,
Love that album.
and he's such also a singer who have this. I I can understand you're inspired by Ron James Dio, but I compare you with Joey Belladonna and then Jolyn Turner, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely. My voice is definitely more like theirs. Not. I don't
Yes,
really
yes,
sound like
yes.
Ronnie James.
Yeah, but that's what I
Yeah, I
noticed.
definitely sound more like them. Yes, definitely.
Yes,
Yes.
that's why I said the lyric. Of course, the Rising album. I can imagine that's a classic for every band, from every musician, from your decade or from your
Right. Right.
age,
Right.
whatever. All
Yes.
Rainbow, Deep Purple, stuff like that. But then you come to the melodic part of the music of your voice, and then I think you go more back to the Jolyn Turners.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely. I
Dio
totally
had
agree.
a also great voice, but it was more rough in
Yes.
certain way. It was still melodic, but it has a rough line on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
the Jordan Turner was extremely clean, AOR, but still,
Right.
and also later
Yes. Yes.
albums
He's
are like
definitely
much
right.
melodic. Yeah,
Yes. Definitely right up my singing style. Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
Joey Belladonna uh,
Jolene. Yeah.
and that's sorry, that's a really, you can be proud of that because these are not
I.
the least
That is.
singers.
I have to tell you that is the highest praise. Thank you. Really.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I compared it, and that's why I never heard the story of Anthrax before that you were doing Audition, and but it didn't surprise me, because yeah, the Jolyn Turner and Joe Belladonna link
Yeah.
is there clearly with with your voice,
Right.
so you can put that in the pocket.
I will. I will
Okay.
definitely.
Well, let's become back to the story. When did you become? When did you decide to become a singer? And did you ever thought about playing an instrument? Yeah, you played bass. You already taught me that.
Yeah. What? Um. Like when I was a child,
Yeah.
um, I want. Like I say, I was born in Puerto Rico, and we came here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which age?
so all I listened to before was just Spanish music. You can
Okay.
imagine, you know.
Uh-huh.
And when I came to America as a child, all of a sudden I was listening to rock music and said, "Oh my, this is so great! It's
Yeah.
what I love." And very young, like I said, when I was about 10 years old, I asked my mom, "Listen, I want a drum set because I want to play in a rock band."
Wow.
So I had a drum set and was messing around. And true story. My mom said, "Listen, I know you want to play this rock music, but I have some friends that have a show coming up, and they're in this Spanish band, but they really need a drummer really bad. And I said, I go, okay, I'll play drums. So I walked into this audition with these men and said, oh,
Grow up, man.
they said, this is un niño. This is a little kid.
Yeah.
She goes, yes, but he really can play. So I sat down the drums and I learned their songs. And okay, we're going to show. We did literally the next day we did the show. It was very simple stuff. It's very simple.
Yeah.
So I'm playing along and they had these two female singers.
Yeah.
They were terrible. Just awful, dude. Awful.
Okay.
And so they're singing along. And so then at some point when I sat down with the kid at the show, their old drummer used to sing like background behind them.
Yeah.
And so the stage crew set up a microphone because they didn't know it was me. Okay, so next to me as I'm playing the drums was this microphone right here. So the people are singing and they're just, like I said, awful. And so I'm like going on and I start singing along to them to help.
Wow.
To help. I'm like 10.
Yeah. But you had like a little child voice.
Like
still.
little child, yeah. I'm like 10 years old singing along with them. And somewhere in the show, we finished the song and someone in the audience goes, who's that angel singing like that?
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
And the band turns around and realizes I'm singing along.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God. And then from then on, I would just sing with the band.
And they kicked this woman out.
Playing the drums, yeah. And so then that was how it all started.
Wow.
And eventually, as I got older, when I got into my late teens, I was playing with rock bands, playing drums, and still singing from the drum set, but just I'm like the background singer.
Yeah.
So I got asked to do a studio session. So I went down to North Carolina, whatever. I went to do a studio session playing I'm just the drummer in this album. Okay. So I'm playing the drums and the singer, the producer wanted harmonies on this voice and he couldn't hit the notes. And I'm a natural tenor. So I'm sitting there, I'm done. I'm going, tell you what, I could probably, do the harmony for that if you want to. So I went there, I sang the part, did the harmony vocals on the album, and we're mixing the album. I'm sitting in the booth, and the engineer is sitting next to me. He goes, hey, I go, what? That was a really good job. I go, thank you. He goes, you have a great voice. I go, thank you. And I'm like, okay. And then he goes, you have a better voice than the singer does. And I was like, really? He goes, and he has a recording contract and you're going to walk out of here with some bucks. And it made me think like, maybe I'm looking at this wrong.
Yes.
And when I got home, I made a decision. I sold my drum set and I was already going to school at college and I changed my major from psychology to music.
Wow.
And
cool story.
Started taking classical music. I said, if I'm going to do this, I can't do it like in America, you say half-ass.
No.
I have to go all the way. I have to not play the drums and just be a singer. And all my friends thought I was crazy. And I said, no, this is what I really think I should do.
Yeah.
And
yeah, great.
Yeah.
It's the same story actually then with Ted Poli. You know the story of Ted Poli?
No.
Ted Poli is a singer of Danger Danger. You might know the band from New Jersey.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
The melodic rock band from New Jersey. And Ted Poli was drumming for Prophet in his early days. But he became also a better. It seems he was also a better singer than drummer, so he changed also from drums to singing. And it's the same story like you told me.
It reminds me of the story of Genesis. Remember Genesis?
Oh, wait, Phil Collins.
Yeah, Phil Collins was the drummer. Right, and then Peter Gabriel quit, and he was like, they auditioned everybody. They auditioned. People don't know they auditioned people for a year.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? He says, let me just try it. And they said, oh, you're great. Let's go. That was it.
But I think the Phil Collins stuff, the like I can compare Genesis more like with the Rush, and then the Phil Collins stuff is like really radio friendly,
Yes,
pop
yes, they definitely
music.
changed their style from very progressive to radio friendly.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. Hey,
and made millions of dollars. Who might have judged them?
yeah, but yeah. I think Phil Collins solo sold more records than Rush.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Rush.
Then Genesis.
Genesis, yeah,
Yep, yep.
because Genesis is like Rush. It's very complex and intense music to listen, and Phil Collins is like supermarket. I would call it supermarket
Yeah, very
music.
simple. Very
Yeah,
simple. Yeah.
just going in with your shopping car and listen to the songs, and it keeps going in your head for 3 days or something like
Right,
this.
right, right.
Hey, I also want to ask you,
Hmm.
because you have an endless list of bands. Uh, we started with Stryker, followed by Attaxe, and
Mm-hmm.
then there was after this band. The list is endless.
The
Uh,
whole list.
yes, and it's coming more. You're telling me like
Yeah,
this is
I keep
coming and
hearing
this is
more. Right,
coming.
right.
And yeah, also very surprised because of your talented voice. You ever sing for some cover bands or tribute bands? Because of the talent you have, I wouldn't be surprised if you would ever do like a tribute band or cover band. You ever do that?
Oh,
Did that?
I am in America. That is big money.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
why I also,
the
yeah.
tribute bands and they make more money than the original bands.
That's really
Tribute
sad
bands.
actually. But but
I am asked all the time.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and um, I don't do that because first off, I really don't have the time.
Yeah.
I don't need the money, so I don't really have the time. I really don't. It's to me, it's wear and tear on my voice for no other reason than financial gain. And I say to myself,
I'm so cool. I'm so cool that you're telling this. Really.
you know what I'm saying? That's
Yes, I totally understand
if that's
because
the reason, then it's for me. That's
yeah,
my
but it's
decision, and I don't judge anybody. I think it's great because a lot of the people that are in the bands with me, they're all in tribute bands because they go, "Hey, man, I'm making crazy money," and I get it. I don't judge anybody. I think it's fine. I'm not against it.
I'm
I don't do
against
it.
it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't do it because it's like I said like for instance the reason
Mhm.
like Yule was the drummer for Dark Arena. Dark Arena is basically a studio project.
Yeah,
Okay, so in he's the drummer for Sunless Sky. That's our main project. That's what he does. He is
yeah,
now the drummer for Wretch, and the only reason he's the drummer for Wretch because Wretch has an amazing drummer in all the albums.
yeah,
Jeff. That Jeff decided he is just making so much money playing in a country tribute band than
yeah.
playing. He cannot. He says, "I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I have. I'm literally paying my bills with this country band." Do that. I go, okay, then that's why you'll play drums for Wretch now, because people make that decision, and I don't. I that's perfectly fine. I understand it. You know what I mean?
I
I understand because
understand,
in
but
America that
yeah.
they're making crazy money. It's I'm glad for them in a most. It's also kind of sad, but
Yeah, it's very sad
it's
also
kind of
about this
sad because
narrow-minded people.
yeah, don't I mean like I said, it's great. I mean, we do shows and we're competing against a Metallica tribute band. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. That's the scene. Is it like that in Europe still too?
It
Like
is,
that?
but I'm always very angry about it because
Mm.
when there's a tribute band playing, uh, people go there if it's even it sucks. They play songs of Kiss or Metallica, so it's cool. And
Right.
then there's
And the
and the
same night
band.
there's an amazing band and not as many people come. Yeah.
Yes, and it's really. I said, people, if you like Journey, you like this band too, but just give it a shot. But they don't do.
Right.
That's
Right.
my frustration about cover band.
No,
And then
I agree.
they make more money than the original bands. Like some bands that got make so much money, like a Ghost tribute band. To be honest, I think it's really stupid because the band is still active. So why
Yeah,
should you
it's
start a
true.
cover band of it? For me, a cover band is cool when there's no real original one, and it's for the real fans, because they cannot see like all this
Right.
country stuff that's from 100 years ago. People they don't the people all buried and they're all gone, and yeah.
Right.
And if the people wants to hear these songs, they cannot grave the bodies of those singers and put them a microphone in their hands. Yeah, yeah.
True enough.
That's a different story, to be honest. But come on, bands were active, still active. Why should you please save money? Please save money, put it in a box, and when Slayer coming or Iron Maiden is coming, you go to the real one and not to that fake one. To be honest,
Right, right, right.
yeah. Hey, yeah, that's my opinion. But yeah, but you also did a lot of projects. You told me that. But and is there some really great musicians you worked with over the years, like really like names? I say this was a great one.
Wow. Really in just about every band, there's a really, really amazing musicians. I wouldn't I wouldn't go much farther without at least for sure mentioning, Tall Paul Konitsia, the guitar player of Dark Arena, who passed away a couple
Yeah.
years ago. He was an exceptional musician, songwriter, and friend. And um, it was really funny because Tall Paul was a very independent person. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? One of those strong-willed people that, you know, distrusted record labels and tried to do Dark Arena for like 20 years, basically independently himself, with me trying to helping him write music, trying to help him, and I was doing other projects until finally a couple years ago, um, toward the end of his life, really, it turned out that I finally decided, listen, I'm in Pure Steel. I'm in a bunch of bands. They treat us well. Everything's, you should really know. I mean, I was always like, Tapa, you're an amazing musician that no one has heard of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do it. And I finally got him. He signed to Pure Steel, and the album was about to come out, and he died.
Mm.
So it was so, ironic and sad. And so that's,
Yeah.
I'm releasing the album so that people now get a chance to hear him, where it was just independent. He'd press a couple hundred albums. You know what I mean? That was, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And try to distribute them, himself. It was kind of, hard. So
Mm.
he's the one person, I guess, right off the bat. Um, each band had like really, really incredible. Like I said, Bobby Allerton from Ritual, lead guitar
Mhm.
player from Ritual, drummer Emery Co. that was in Ritual and Dark Arena. Um,
Mhm.
People like that. Going back to the Attaxe days, of course, the songwriter for all that, classic Attaxe music was Scott Stage and
Mm.
Greg Perry, and the other guitar player who people also know him from Purgatory back in the days.
Is that the blue record with Purgatory? With
Yeah,
I have the
right.
album.
You
Like
have that, yeah, title
yeah,
tracks and stuff like that.
Tide
Yeah.
of Tracks. Yeah, that's the song. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
Tide of the
And
Tracks or something like
so
this.
him him
Yeah.
and Greg wrote all that classic Attack stuff.
Mm.
Um, and Scott, of course, took a went in a different direction. When Attax was really doing well and about to be signed to Epic,
Oh,
actually took
oh,
us to Chicago and
it's
did
a
a
major
demo.
label.
We were going to go from obscure band to signed to a major label,
Yeah.
and we did a showcase show. And that weekend, Scott went out drinking with his brother and ended up getting into a fight and killing someone.
Wow.
And So he went away for jail for manslaughter, and then we never got signed because the record label said, "Oh, we don't want no." I said, told him I still had, I could get Greg, I get another guitar player or whatever, and the record label's like, "We don't want nothing to do with it." You know what I mean? So that still things happen. So.
But you're talking about the about these Pure Steel. I'm no with Pure Steel because I'm from Germany and I know the guys
Right.
already. And it's also there are several musicians include the team of Pure Steel, like Mick Wega from the Wallop and the Motley Crue
Right.
tribute band, who's in the team. Like Bob Mitchell is in the team,
Right.
and there's a lot of
Greg Neal
real.
from
Huh?
Halloween. Greg Neal from Halloween. They're in
Yeah,
Detroit.
yeah, and also these all metal fans through running this label. So yeah, it's like my label. I've got a label too, Headbangers Records, and I do
Oh,
this by
okay.
yeah, I have a label too, and I released about more than 100 releases.
Oh,
So
wow.
I did a
Awesome.
lot of and also several US metal bands, but so I do this by passion and not for fashion is our statement also
Right.
with the channel.
Exactly. Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, but this is the same like we do. Like Pure Steel is run by fans, and that's what we do too. And I
Right.
think it's
Right.
different than your 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 guy was very paranoia about the fact probably there's a lot of money made behind his back and stuff like that. So want to keep it
Right. Yes.
in his
Yes.
own
Well,
hands.
the thing is, too, back in the day when bands are being, signed to by these American labels,
Yeah,
it basically the problem was the American label was sign you, they're going to spend that money on you, and then if you don't make whatever they think, they just drop you.
yeah,
They don't care really about you as a person, or you have no really, I don't, you know wouldn't know who the person was or who was the A&R person or who the they're all people that are way beyond the people I'm talking to, and you couldn't. And that's the way Paul looked at record labels and so forth. They were just,
not always
you know,
perfect.
they're gonna sign us. They won't, they're gonna, if we make money or don't make money, we don't know. They don't tell us anything. And if I guess he's just had a very pessimistic view about it because he's seen, bands that got signed and then just dropped or forgotten and never, that sort of thing. And so,
Yeah,
um, I mean, there is that, you know what I mean? So, but it's a business and people looking to make money if possible. I mean, I understand it. I don't, I try not to be pessimistic about things. I'm doing it for the same thing. I'm doing it for more for my love of music. I'm not, I'm, if I'm not rich, and I don't think I'm going to be rich anytime soon.
no, but what you're
I don't
telling
think
it's
so.
no, nah, yeah, you
But
never know.
you're right. So the money isn't something that drives me, and the same way that the people I work with, they're not driven by money either. You know
No,
what I mean? So I mean, because no one to me is getting rich doing it. I mean,
no,
if we're lucky enough to work together, and I always tell the bands, when I work with Pure Steel and I see all these different bands and help talk to bands, and I tell them that the only way we rise together,
yeah,
because it's, this is all really underground, and if some band is lucky to have a hit record, I mean, we all rise up.
yeah,
This infighting or dog eat dog world from the way the American record labels will run is, um, I'm not sure it's always still like that, but at a time it was like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
Changing
so
the style of the bands,
yes,
from glam to grunge, and
yes, absolutely,
from
right.
yeah, that's true.
When Attaxe was going to be signed, part of the reason they were going to sign us is we were Attaxe. The original Attaxe we had our own style.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We had a style that didn't really sound like everybody else.
yeah,
And the first thing he said, "Hey, we're going to sign you, but we want you to." And they were already saying, we want more commercial this, we want to change in your look, we want to change in that. You know, and when you're
That's
young,
the
you're
start
gonna go, hey,
of
yeah, let's
the
go,
end.
let's do it. You know what I mean?
Uh, I get
So
you, but like Pure Steel Records, like my label,
right,
we would be very sad. I'm very sad when a artist is not happy with my work, with our
right,
work.
right,
I'm sad. I always like to get the musicians happy,
right,
and
right,
and and for me it's the thing. I think music you cannot live from these days. If you want to live from music, you have to play in a very commercial tribute or cover band or
right, right,
whatever, or you have to do some house music, like which is very popular in Europe these days, always
right,
was, and that's our music where you make money with. If you go
right,
in metal, maybe in 1982 you had labels who made money with it and some bands made money with it, but this is long time gone. Even the big bands work have jobs besides. You know,
right,
it's gone, and you have to do this really by passion and not for money. If you play equable and you have a little bit like a little bit more than the break even, you can invest that in new stuff or whatever. That's my mission. But
right, right.
making a lot of money, go work, go work.
Yeah, you make more money working.
Yeah. So yeah, but I want to ask you also about this because we are talking about working again. How you you stopped? You didn't tour anything over the years. The last I think I saw you just before the lockdown in Bray, just
Yes.
before the lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and you were there with Ritual, right?
Ritual.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. With Johnny and Koen in Bray, it was really great evening. Which very less people, and that was, but it was also the location, which was completely far from the rest of the world. But in
Right.
the other side, it's a lovely location. The Koen and his staff and Johnny, they are such a nice people. And I work for DMC as a volunteer. I do a lot of stuff for them. But
Right.
this
Right. Right.
but this location, the what's the name of the club in Bray? Uh,
Oh, was it Ragnarok?
Ragnarok Club, and they have the really great food, the great stage, great stuff, great sound. But it's so sad that it's so in the middle of nowhere. So a lot of
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Little Devil is near to the station, so that's much easier for people to come.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
but
I should
that's
have
what,
went there.
yeah, why not? But you told me like that you were going with I saw you just before the lockdown. I saw you in Bray, and you also played Little Devil, I think, there. Or
Right.
was it that
That
tour
was
last
probably the tour before
with
with
Wretch,
Wretch.
with
Yeah, tour
Wretch?
before.
Yeah. But about touring, you travel a lot about abroad. I really like to know. You already talked about Holland, but are there other countries in particular you
Oh,
love?
yeah, definitely. When you talk abroad, I mean, um, you know, obviously Holland and Germany, but I've also been to France. Sunless Sky did a tour of Eastern Europe that was
Okay.
really cool.
Wow. Wow.
Um, I you know we went to you. I guess you'd almost name it from Hungary to Croatia,
Yeah.
Bosnia, Romania,
Oh, okay. There too.
uh,
Wow.
yeah, we went all over there, and there was Slovakia, so many beautiful people, beautiful places.
Yeah.
It was just really really amazing. Like I said, I love playing everywhere. Poland. I spent a week in Poland doing shows there. Um, that was one of the best places. Um, my current girlfriend is from Poland, from
Oh,
Krakow, so
oh, wow. You met
yeah,
there. You met
it
on the
was
road.
really great. And um, to spend time where she used to live, and to see the people there, and
Uh,
it was really amazing. I loved going there. The people were so enthusiastic, and it was crazy. I was like, playing in this club in Chechu, Poland, and someone they came. He said, "Oh, we were on the train." I said, "Oh, well, you train? You took the train here? The train?" I'm like, "The train?" In America, I was like, "What? You could train?" And she goes, "Yeah, we were on the train for 5 hours. For
To see you.
5 hours, 5 hours." And
Wow.
it's that enthusiasm is just like, to want to go do something and see something. Like
Yeah.
we played, Bosnia, and you know, um, the people there, the people that came to the show couldn't buy the shirts or the CDs. They basically scraped their money together to come there. Man, there's metal bands are coming, and they put their money together to come to the show. That was like, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like and they were so into it. Just like, how often is this going to happen? You know what I mean? And that's the kind of thing that you remember. You say to yourself, "Wow," you know what I mean? When in America, people, I hate to say it like that, but a lot of it is like, "Oh, I can go see them anytime. Eh, I can go up the street. There's a show tomorrow." You know what I mean? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's the way,
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest. That's the way Americans are. They're like, whatever. We
And
go. Yeah, I want to see that band. Yeah, I could see them next week. They're playing in
not
Philly.
always.
I'll go see them in Detroit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's true. That's the way they think. And when you came to Europe, it wasn't like that. They really were like, "Wow, this band's from America. I better go see them because I don't know when I'm going to see them again." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It isn't like they're going to be here till next week or next month or next year even. They might not come back. So
Yeah.
that the people that came were very, very cool. So that's the kind of thing I remember. So
I skipped Jimmy Jameson on the Firefest in England. I thought I would see him again, and then he died. No Jimmy Jameson.
oh yeah, see,
That's never
that's
do that. I'll always try to go there.
yeah, you said, man, no, that one is like, um, that's one thing we keep talking about Ronnie James, and he would come, he toured with himself and toured at Black Sabbath, and it was funny. I seen Black Sabbath with, with Ozzy and with Tony Martin. We got to love Tony Martin, and uh, I had opportunities to see Ronnie James Dio, and both times I had shows and
I
decided
saw I
and never
saw
saw.
I saw him run James Dio, but I said Jimmy Jameson. Jimmy Jameson
Oh,
from Survivor. That's what I said. I
oh,
saw I
but you
saw
met Ronnie James.
no, I said Run James Dio. I saw several. I saw him with Dio. I saw him with Heaven and Hell. A lot of
Oh, very, very cool.
yeah, but I
Jimmy
didn't.
Jameson of
Jimmy
Survivors was
James,
an
yes,
excellent singer, excellent singer, and
yeah,
that's a band that was doing mostly, like you were saying, AOR kind of
yeah,
rock metal kind of thing, but had a real, you could see him easily in a metal band, like
yeah. But
he had
that's
that
what I
voice.
meant. I missed him. I missed him. I was at the Firefest in England, a billing full of great bands. I said, Jamie Jameson, he tours around very often. He's going to play in Holland and Belgium, whatever. I gonna see this guy again. And then he died. No Jimmy Jameson. I never saw Survivor and never saw Jimmy Jameson playing
Wow,
live.
wow,
And that's what you're saying, we
right,
gonna see, and it's not always gonna happen.
right. It's
Yeah.
true enough.
Yeah.
I see.
Hey, I also want to ask you about this. How did you survive the lockdown, and what are the next steps when the world goes open again?
No, this is really fun. A lot of bands. Obviously, I couldn't play out. I mean,
Yeah.
all the clubs shut down here. Everything like that. So that was when, for me, I took the opportunity because that Vincent Veith project was something I had started years ago,
Yeah.
and around the time of Dark Arena, and sort of put it aside, like, you know what I mean? I'm working on these projects, and so then it gave me the opportunity to finish that album and to release it. So I spent that year of, in the studio, and still working with bands, and writing the new Sunless Sky album, and um writing the new Wretch album that we're going to start recording soon. So we spent the year not doing shows, being mostly apart, but still writing. And I guess for me, it wasn't so different because, like I was telling you before, that's the way I typically work with my bands.
Yeah.
So it didn't, nothing really changed that much for me because I'm typically working remotely with the bands and then getting together with them every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
One of the things when COVID first started too, I finished the recording like that Blind Cross album was done completely remotely. When I say remotely, I'm talking about me and the members of Blind Cross did not speak one time. We never spoke to each other. It was done completely. They spoke German, I spoke English, so we didn't speak to each other at all. It was done completely by music, completely by Google Translator
Oh.
to each
They don't.
other.
They don't speak English so well. The guys of Blind
No,
Cross.
yeah. And I my even though I was married to a German girl for 30 years, my wife
Oh.
was German, who passed away a few years ago.
Oh.
And she spoke
My
obviously.
compliments.
Oh, thank you. So she spoke German obviously very well. She was from our family's from Dusseldorf, and
Ah, okay, near the
um,
rural area.
yeah. So you're right, exactly, yes. And so I I have the barest German, very very small German. I can get a beer, a bed, and something to eat maybe. That's
Bratwurst.
about it.
Eine
Right,
Bratwurst.
the bear you said, so I really couldn't communicate that way, and we just did it completely by translation and completely. And it's always amazing to me when I tell people that, yeah, that album was done completely remotely with us never seeing each other face to face. We didn't even do this.
Oh,
We we didn't
that's
even do Zoom or anything
strange.
because
Strange,
what
actually. Yeah.
use? We couldn't talk to
Yeah.
each. So it was literally just by messaging and listening to music. It was just done completely with music, and that was so interesting and so amazing to me. And it's just a great album. I really really enjoyed it, and just definitely look forward to doing something else with them soon.
So the music does speak for you guys.
It does. It completely spoke for us. Yeah. I would send them stuff, it's just they would send me the music, and then I would write and at first I was like, do you have ideas or melodies? No, 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 do your thing. I want your
Oh,
thing. And so I just, was able to be very creative and just, we messaging back and forth and sending music back and forth to each other. And it's just a great album. And we did a video, and there's
yeah.
two videos. One's a lyric video. We actually did a video for the single Bioluminosity, where they did all their parts in Germany and I did all my parts in America, and then they're
Oh,
all put together like we're
oh, okay, cool. Can you send it to me? Can you send it to
yeah,
me?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I'll see if I send it to you. Yeah, or you could
thanks.
look it up on YouTube on
Yeah, but
Pure
yeah,
Steel.
Just
Yeah,
send it to
Blind
me.
Cross Bioluminosity. Yeah, you'll be probably faster than I can do that.
Yeah.
So it's great. And it's another thing's the story. Everybody's like, wow, I write a story about it. It was supposed to be like almost like a love song, and I still write a story about it. It's
Oh.
still a story. It's still a story of being seduced by a woman who changes me a, like a man from the living dead. She,
Oh.
she takes my soul.
Oh.
Yeah, she takes my soul and I become the living dead at the end of the song. You have to watch the video. Be like, oh, you will laugh.
Okay,
They
I
were like,
go. And because we're coming to nearly to an end, but I
okay,
also want to ask you about this. We spoke about. You remind me about something I want to ask you about this. Fuck. You cannot say that in America. This word. Uh, we talked about this. Uh, yeah. Now I remember. You sometimes when you tell things, I then something pops up in my mind, or I see comparable situations. And you talked about the band Blind Cross, where you are singing for, and which have a really strange way of working, but it works. It seems it works. So the music speaks what what I just told, what we just spoke about. Like Bob Mitchell, you're one of the guys of your label, who's a great singer for Sleepy Hollow and Attacker and stuff. He has also this band Skeptor, also with the German guys, but
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes, but he there we did an interview with him, with Bob, together with Torsten from Germany, and we did so that there's at least some friendship and some connection there, and they really are a band who practice on far distance together. But what you told me, it's a very funny story, like doing a doing no don't know each other that well, no real friends, or real, you don't even really know them, but still you are connected in the music, you're the
Yeah,
music
we're connected,
connection.
and
Yeah.
we're like friends. Rocco, Stelmacher,
Yeah.
and the guys from the band. They were from the members of the band were from a band called Double Trouble.
Double trouble.
And them, yeah, and so we're like friends on Facebook, and communicate all the time,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But we never spoke,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So we're like friends,
Yeah.
and always, support each other and stuff like that, or in the band together,
Yeah.
and did an album together. But that we recorded an album without speaking, or
Yeah.
without seeing each other, or even zooming, because we couldn't talk to each other. So it was great and interesting. Yeah, Bob has the band with the members in Germany and stuff, and they're actually coming on tour. He's actually coming to Germany, and playing with them. So
Cool.
to Europe over there, and playing with them. So it'll be great.
And then
You'll be able to go see Bob Mitchell.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bob is a friend of mine. Like I met him like 15 years ago. We are still connected together. He always tag me in every post every week. So he's the real tag master. I thought I was a tag master, but Bob Mitchell is a real tag master. But I love him. He's a great guy, and they have a lovely
Yeah, I've
family.
never.
Always
I
post pictures with his woman and his children, and lovely guy.
Yeah, I try to be on Facebook and social media as much as I could. Um, I, I'm I'm very lax at it. You know what I mean? I'm so busy, and for me to sit down with Facebook, I have to literally schedule out time to sit. Okay,
Yeah, it's
today
good.
I'm going to sit for at least an hour and go through and message, because everybody's messaging me, or saying, "Oh, we love this show, we love that album," and I want to be connected to the fans and show my appreciation
Yeah.
and all that, that kind of thing. So I always try to take time out of my schedule to do that. You know what I mean? I think it's important. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Juan Ricardo, I tried to speak it as the Puerto Ricans do. Was a lovely chat with you, and we brought up many things. I really like the chat, and I would love to continue our interview when you are on the road. We can do it again, but then face to
absolutely,
face. And yeah,
absolutely
we
love
need to
to.
stay in touch. And then when you come on tour, with some bands, we're gonna do an interview just face to face and talk about some. We continue the story and the talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I can't wait. Like I said, Europe is some of my favorite places, and I have to definitely go back to Tilburg, go back
yeah,
to, the Little
little
Devil,
double.
and
Yeah,
just and have an amazing night. So whatever which band that might be, either Wretch or Sunless Sky, or you never know exactly, or maybe Richard does another tour. We'll see, or you never know which band, but what I will definitely be back. So.
yeah. Thank you very much, and I really hope to see you soon on the road. And well, thank you very much, Kwan. It was a really nice chat with you on a Sunday evening after a long, hard weekend of drinking and partying, and I'm still here fresh before the
Look
camera.
at you. Look at you.
Yeah,
It's a true
and
metal warrior right there,
oh
people.
well. Hey, thank you very much for your time, and for the passion, not the fashion. Like, share, subscribe now, and Juan Ricardo, rock on. You're an awesome singer. Never forget. Underrated talent. Love your
Oh, thank
voice.
you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody out there. Stay true, stay metal, people. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.